I think our latest I think our latest one is only 35 minutes and it goes over the breakdown of the reels that convert through a specific method and it goes through examples. Um, is there like a Zoom thing on the screen? Sorry. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to pull up the chat so I can see it too. But where I've been helping a lot of my personally enrolled and those reaching out is with captions lately. So I thought captions would be a good one to talk about. So am I sharing the right one? Because I have my notes up on the right and then the presentation on the left, but I don't know if I shared the notes.
I see the presentation.
Okay, cool. So, what we are going to go over is this caption formula where there's a hook, a relatable struggle, an emotional connection, the solution, proof, and then a call to action. And so I'm breaking this down, which you guys can screenshot at the end throughout this whole presentation. And yes, the picture is the same because I'm not a Canva presentation kind of person. So the first part of the caption is the hook that grabs the attention and stops the scroll for people. So this is the one, especially on Facebook, that you want to make sure is there and visible for people to see. Um, Actually, what I've started doing, side note, on Facebook, that's a little different than my Instagram captions, is I put the CTA right on top of the hook. So I'm like, drop heel 888 for details. And then I say my hook. Because if you guys have looked at captions on Facebook, you know how hard it is to read through certain screens and the contrast of like the writing of the words. And if your phone is on dark mode or light mode, it's just so hard where people, if they want the info that you shared and you have that CTA either on screen or at the top of the caption, you'll get more comments. So the hook grabs the attention and stops the scroll. It needs to make people stop, and it should be intriguing, relatable, and curiosity driven. So I came up with some examples from you guys outside my own. I actually put my own in ChatGPT, Taylor, and I had them give me different ones because you guys can all go through my captions. So I wanted to bring just like more diversity to you guys. So I thought I was just tired, but it was something else entirely. So with that type of hook, I would put like an eyeball emoji, like right before it, and then an arrow after, just to like emphasize the hook. Mom guilt hit me hard when I realized this. I was today's years old when I found out I've been doing this all wrong. Does this sound familiar? So these hooks, though, go with the reels that we taught you guys in one of the Zooms below. So it would correlate. So like, does this sound familiar? Would be like me talking about how tired I am by 4 p.m. and how I'm constantly on edge yelling and I go to bed at 9 p.m. and still wake up groggy. So in the caption, the hook would be, does this sound familiar? Does that make sense so far? So the first line matters more than the rest of your caption because it needs to create curiosity or connection instantly and keep the reader intrigued. So I don't know. Some of you guys are in the car. I was hoping that you'd be able to write some down because I just really wanted you guys to be able to go away from this call with a good caption for yourself. And I wanted you to write down 5 different hooks for a single topic and test which one gets the most engagement. So you can write down your hooks or take these. So I thought it was just my kid, but it was actually congruent with being 7 years old. Like, so you were going to take 5 different hooks this week. This is like an action. I'm giving you guys an action for each because you're going to perfect the perfect caption. And you're going to see which hook gets the most engagement. And we're going to be able to take and piece together your different captions to see what's working and what's not to formulate the best one for you. So let me put that in can you guys copy and paste from, thanks, Ivy. Can you guys copy and paste from the chat? if I drop something. So there, that's what your first part is for this, is have them write down 5 different hooks. Can you guys see that? Okay. Awesome. Then I will just put those in there. So this call will probably be faster since people are double tasking than planned, which means you get a Sunday evening. So the relatable struggle. This makes people feel seen. Um, this is where you're going to describe real life moments in detail. So like instead of saying I was tired, you're taking your real life moment, those aha moments that you're experiencing. So like by 3 p.m., I was on my 3rd coffee, still yawning and dreading the chaos of dinner time. Like what a crappy feeling to be on your 3rd coffee, still yawning and having more to do, right? Like moms can relate to that, women can relate to that, dads can relate to that. And you guys can all insert to hair is not my thing. So I've actually asked Taylor and Aspen if they want to help make a hair launch, and they may or may not be in for that. So I'll get more. I'm all about like reaching out to people outside my expertise to have them bring it in. So you can use these same kind of things for hair, or take these sort of hooks and say, now apply it to the rudest hairline and put that in ChatGPT and see how that pans out. Austin sold on that hook. He says, sounds like me. Austin needs to make an Instagram. Maybe he'll get all the dads, bring all the dads to the yard. Um, so for this part, and this is all for you guys. Obviously, I'm not your boss. You do not have to do this. This is just what I would do and what I do through my own copy, um, in perfecting what captions work for me. So like I tried to make a new reel yesterday with different patterns than I do usually, and it was like a fail. I've got like 2 comments. So I have to go through that and see what I did compared to my reels that take off and tweak it. And I don't just throw the bad reel out the window. I take my bad reel and see how I can perfect it better. So you're going to write 3 different versions of a relatable struggle that you've experienced in your niche. So this example is by 3 p.m. I was on my 3rd coffee, still yawning. And I'll put this in here too if you guys want. So that way you can say, apply this to what you know about my life. I always do that with ChatGPT. I'm like, take what you know about me and apply it to my life. Take what you know about my struggle with my son and sensory processing disorder and apply it to my life. When I had an experience with Lemon, like banging her head against the wall, I told ChatGPT what just happened. I'm like, now take what I told you and help me apply anger regulation to gut brain axis communication. And all that is saved. So in the future, I can say, now apply this overlay that I just put on my post and make a caption about Lemon.
So another thing that I do with, like you said, I'll take like somebody else's contents idea and I'll be like, rewrite this for me that so that it applies to me. Because if I really like something, I'm like, I don't know how to put it in my own words. So then I just have Chat GPT write it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's people with other um like sensory processing disorder kiddos who have really great captions, and I relate to them so well, and I'm like, how do I make this relatable to me? And I'll do it especially if they're getting a lot of comments and engagement, because that's what's working. But what you got to do, you guys, is train your Chat GPT. So Taylor sounds like she's probably really trained Chat GPT to know who she is. Like Chat GPT might know more about me than I know about myself at this point because my memory sucks. Yeah.
Taylor and Bethany, question.
Yeah.
My Chat GBT is full of like my teaching personality, like teaching stuff, because I've been using it for over a year on that, or a really long time. And so I feel like it gets confused. Should I do like, can you train it like with two different things like that? Or should I
I'm a
use a
teacher.
different email?
Can you
I'm a
guys see
teacher.
my chat GBT on my, yeah, Taylor's a teacher too.
Can you use
So
it
my
for like teaching stuff all the time,
mine
Taylor?
knows that. What was it?
You use it for like your teaching stuff as well?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Do you use it for your teaching stuff as well, she said?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And like I've told her that I have a personal side to me that's different than Mrs. Toll. And that has helped. I mean, there's nothing you can say like write
Chat,
this in my, general talking.
Chat GBT is like, Taylor's bipolar.
I am two people. Taylor and Mrs. Toll are not the same human. So yeah, just communicate that.
So can you guys see my share screen now or no? Let me see if. So right here, I'll show you. So I have always our happy hour team call where I took all these and was like, help me make a presentation because I told you guys I suck at presentations. So that's here. For my kids' social media, which I do, I have that there. And the format for how I write posts for my kids' social media is all there. Yesterday, I have different things. So we were in the car and I needed guessing games because and I wanted my kids to guess a object. So I had them give me clues to guess an object and they're all different. So, like for my channels, I don't know if any of you have channels on Instagram, but like I have different chat GBTs for those channels. Whenever I make business posts, it's called like Mom's Affiliate Marketing Success because, and here's like my story with it, with it. So, I bring this up, sorry, because someone asked in the comments, like, do I use the same one? But I make different ones every time. And I could clean it up a little bit more, but I don't. Also, I have been taking my, I have can you guys still see ChatGPT? I have a whole thing right here where I just do carousel posts. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're dealing with today in terms of dysregulation. Help me make a carousel post on this. And so that's how I make my carousel posts. And they're getting they didn't get great engagement at first, but they're getting really great engagement now. And even people dropping words just as much as they do on my reels, which has been super cool to see. I actually only started doing carousels. Like my coach teaches on carousels and I was just like, nah, don't want to. Thanks. He's like, do them. And I'm like, no. And then literally right after I told him no, Instagram asked me, offered me a bonus for doing them. So I'm like, fine, what the heck? And I earned $75 last month from carousels, which is pretty cool. How many carousel? I try and do once a day, but and I do it in place of a reel. But I mean, like I didn't do one today. I feel like, and this is just my expertise, obviously I'm not an Instagram professional, but I really feel like carousels nourish my current audience. So if someone sees that I use saffron holy basil for nervous system regulation for ADHD and sensory processing disorder, and they decide to hit follow. Like, I can't tell you guys how many times I've followed someone and I'm like, cool, I hope they show up on my algorithm later. But then I don't see them till later. I feel like carousels hit those current followers and remind them why they are following you. So that's just my theory with it, but I've only been doing carousel since February 1st. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, did I do that right? Is it on the thing? Can someone give me a thumbs up? Is it on or tell me yes? Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, so did we do this one? Makes people feel more seen. We did that, right?
Yeah, we did that.
Okay, cool. So the next part, and this is kind of just how, like, my captions are always really long. My coach actually, he shares when you're making a conversion reel, just drop Kids Matter below for more info. Like he teaches just to do that. And that works for him and other people he coaches. For I think my niche with kids, parents want to relate. So I mean, with his niche, it's us network marketers that are just like, get to the point and give me the info. I don't have time for a caption, right? But you got to think about your audience. They're buyers. They're not maybe they're affiliate marketers. And they want to know you are also a human that can help them, and they're not buying just another product to try and fail again, is my theory on that. But again, the way he teaches it for other people works really well for him. These just do well for me. And you can totally take the same reel. Like if you have a successful reel, you can take the same reel and just do a caption without all the details and test it out. I never let content go to waste. Like I try it over and over. And if you guys missed the Tuesday call with Holly Simmons, not Sim, whatever. She's Holly Simon. She's on the Happy Team. She shared something that a lot of people that share Instagram tips are sharing, is that you take the same reel and you try it on 5 different popular audios before you even retire that reel to see if it takes off. If you're doing like the formula right. If it's something like you like picking your teeth and you're saying something not useful and you're posting it 5 times and it's not taking off, like I can't help you there. But if you do look at people whose reels have gone like super viral, sometimes if you hit the audio, you'll go to it and you'll see that person posted that video like 30 times before it went viral, which is super interesting. So the emotional connection is why it mattered. This part validates the reader's feelings and makes them lean in for the solution and builds that connection online that you just don't get from people online, and makes them essentially feel like they know you and can relate with you because you're going through the same thing. It's where you help your audience see themselves in your story. So I hated that I was snapping at my kids. I felt like I was failing. I should have been able to juggle it all, but instead I was drowning. The worst part, I thought this was just how life had to be. So I would write, and I would do this if this were me. And when I do it, I would write it all in my notes the way I'm telling you to. So that way you can take different pieces and make your caption out of them and toggle, like mix and match essentially is what I mean by toggle. So that way you can see what reel works. What you probably could do, honestly, is take the formula I'm giving you, and if your ChatGPT knows you well enough, you can say, I'm selling, and I don't know, the hair care product for, help me make a caption according to this formula and what you know about what I've shared about my hair. Or I am trying to sell the Amari Kids Pack. Help me sell what it does without naming the product using this captions formula. Okay. Trying to stay current with the chat. I think I am. So what changed? This is where you introduce what helped turn things around. This is where you talk about your experience before naming the product. So like if you just say, I started taking this supplement, it feels like an ad. Like it's just like, okay, cool, another supplement, next. But if you say, I learned about how cortisol affects everything, so I started looking for ways to manage it naturally, that sounds like a real journey. So within this, you need to write a 3-sentence transition from your struggle to your solution. And really, you just need to write it once and then tailor it to whatever product or child or journey. Like if you're talking about hormones, then you tailor it to that. If you're talking about sobriety, you tailor it to that. So that line, I'll put that here too for you guys as an example, is I learned about how cortisol affects everything. So I started looking for ways to manage it naturally. So like for me in sobriety, that's like, why am I spacing? Like I'd been through so many medications and nothing was working. Then I realized serotonin and dopamine was in the gut. And I started to explore how gut health can help my anxiety. And remember, you can talk about all this so freely as long as you are not mentioning the product name. And that's not to be sneaky, it's because it's a compliance issue. And then people, it's just the way our world works. If you can say Zoloft and anxiety all day, but you can't say holy basil helps anxiety. Okay, if we're doing okay on time. So the proof, this is where you prove the transformation. So instead of saying I have more energy, like no one cares that you have more energy, right? Like, cool, I have coffee for that. But I realized at 2 p.m. I hadn't even thought about grabbing another coffee. Like, that's incredible. So many people actually have that testimony when starting Happy Juice. They're like, whoa, I didn't finish my second pot of coffee. So for this, you're going to write down 3 outcomes you've experienced. And this is going to go really well, you guys, actually, with the brand partner launch in the academy, because one of the first things I have people do is write down their pain points. So all this will tie in to, like, it'll be really easy for them to go through this replay for caption writing if they've gone through the academy. Like, all their stuff will be there right in the notebook. We good here? Okay, so the CTA, this is what so many people leave off and what I left off for a very, very, very long time. I literally ask people, I say, follow me so you get the details and then drop blank below. I actually did put, ChatGPT put DM me once and I forgot to edit that, and I had so many messages in my inbox, it was a pain in the ass. But if you're an inbox person, by all means. Yeah, you want me to type what I have it right? Can you, if you screenshot the Zoom, Ivy? I don't know if you have an Apple phone, but if you do, then you can just copy and paste it from there. Let me see. Unless someone else is already, if you're feeling this too. So thank you. What you don't want to do is say, if you're feeling this too, drop reset below and I'll send you the details. Because you will get people dropping reset and you are going to go to message them and they are not going to be following you. And so Instagram is going to send it to their request folders, or it's going to say you cannot message this person because they are not following you. So I always say follow. So here is the formula. What I just do with, I was going to try and copy and paste it, but I'm not on my phone. So
I'll copy and paste it, Bethany.
thank you. So pick, what I would do is, if you've had a reel do really, really well, where it is about the product and it's getting a lot of likes, take that same reel and just rework the formula with what by that I mean this caption formula, and try and do a new caption for it. Or pick one of your past captions that you thought was really good and rework it into this formula way. with a hook, relatable struggle, emotional connection, the solution, proof, and the CTA. Let me see if, oh, Nicole's gonna put it there. I didn't know you could screenshot things and put it into ChatGPT. That's cool. I think Nicole actually just shared that with me last call. One of our last calls. So hopefully that's helpful. If you don't know what Reels, Zoom replay we are talking about, is it, can you guys see my Facebook? Why is it Zoom? Yeah, you can. Okay, so it's in the Always Happy Hour business affiliates. So I posted this week's calls in here. These are all Jill's calls. I'd lean into her. She helps people one-on-one. But just this group in general is from like Nicole and I down, where we just do personal coaching and like our personal team stuff. But that doesn't mean that all this stuff is not killer and freaking awesome for you to make if you want to. I personally can't make all these things, but if I need personal development or I don't know what to do within my business, I definitely go. And I really like how Jill, she's our presidential diamond. She just really, she's personable and answers questions, which is so nice. So for the reels, if you want the training on reels, here's the framework right here, featured, featured. And then the call, oh, not all of Facebook. Calls in this group too. Isn't it, Nicole? No, this one was a good call too. This is for connection in your reels. If you want that.
Which one are you looking for? The one we did recently?
Yeah, we did it and it was like 35 minutes long and
It might not actually be in there. I'll go put it in there. I don't think
Okay.
I put it in. I think I just threw it in the chat.
Okay. So Nicole will post that then. And it'll be in here. Because this is the formula that I use for my reels. I use these right here. But the Zoom call on it kind of goes over examples. Not kinda, it does. It goes through examples of what these are, which will get your juices going. But I guess if you can upload pictures, you could screenshot those and have reels done for you within ChatGPT. This is just me, I never take exactly what ChatGPT says the first time and I like mix and match. I'm like, give me another one or make this hook controversial or make it sound like I'm talking to eighth graders or hey, gear this one towards moms that are just so overstimulated with 4 kids right now. Or hey, talk to sober women that just cannot seem to get it right when I'm doing my coaching, not happy juice. That kind of thing. Yes, it'll learn how you talk. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Overstimulated, you can test it out on me. Are we good?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So everything that you just shared, that was all for the caption only, correct?
Yep.
So how do we know exactly how much to put on the screen? Just that hook that like those examples? Like that's the only text? It's like this example. After a week? No. Oh, that's one whole example.
So all those examples that I went through, these things, 1, 2, 3, these ones are the details of these,
Oh, okay, okay.
of how to write that caption. So like the hook was number 1,
And the hook's the only thing that goes on screen.
relatable struggle. Yeah, so this hook below here is not going to be it's not going to be the same hook that you're putting on your reel. This is just for the caption. So like
You confused me there.
it's not going to
I-
be, I'll show you an example. It might be easier. I don't know if I can, let's see. I don't have a good one there. Okay. So I trusted my gut, but my hook here is, can we just take a moment to appreciate this transformation? It's not exactly a good hook, but I was trying something new. Let's see.
But how do you know what to put on the screen? That's, I think, what I struggle with. It's either I get the caption good and the screen lacks, or the text on the screen lacks and my hook's good, but my caption lacks.
So I would go back to those prior, these ones, the frameworks here, what Nicole did, we should just like pin this to the top. I would go back to oh, that's on my main page, sorry. I would go back to these right here, the frameworks, and see what works. So like these ones don't really work for my audience on my Functioning with Rugrats account, but they'll work on my Sober account. Like for some reason, Functioning with Rugrats wants solution and product and to purchase. Sober account just wants the advice. So am I answering your question?
Yeah, when I follow his guide like frameworks, that's when it takes me a very long time to make one reel.
Yeah, it used to take
So then I
me.
usually wing it because it's like if I'm gonna be effective with my time, I can't spend an hour on one hook.
So my advice is what I'd go back and tell myself 9 months ago, if in hindsight, is Bethany, continue to take the 45 minutes it takes to perfect it, because now I whip out a reel in 5 minutes because I have it memorized. I know what works. And I'm enrolling like I am because I took that time. You know what I mean? This is where the crappy part about having to take time to learn a new skill is. But if you want to be the best in the industry with your particular product, you have to take time to learn it. And then I promise you, you'll start seeing what your audience likes, and you'll just be like, cool, I can take that same hook and just put in a different word, and it'll take
Yeah.
you like, but it just
I've
takes
been getting
time.
I've been getting really, really great engagement and follows and everything lately, but I just saw Dawn say that she has put all this into her chat GPT, and that's the one thing I did not do was put all of his frameworks into chat GPT. So I'm definitely going to do that tonight.
I was just gonna say too, you could go to like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. This is so awful. So yeah, do what Dawn just said and put them in. But you could also take, oh, I was gonna say, go what I do with reels that are doing well. So, hey ChatGPT, I have a millennial mom reel that did really well and attracted followers from a reel that had this overlay and this overlay and this overlay. Now I need to take all these followers that came to my page and use this formula to make a reel to get them to buy my product with problems that millennial 30-year-olds are having in relation to stress, hormones, whatever. And then like it'll give you a caption, maybe the stress, the hormones, everything is too broad and you're like, narrow that down to just cortisol. So, so making reels and scheduling them helps so much. You don't have to, exactly, yeah. Definitely schedule and stuff if you can. I'm not like a scheduler person because I just keep them in my drafts, which I guess I should schedule and that'd be way more helpful. I don't know what I think what I when I used to schedule posts, sometimes this was like a year ago, the caption wouldn't show up or things would come out like like that needed tweaking, and because I scheduled it, I didn't catch it because Instagram just freaks out on you sometimes, but it's probably something I should implement now that it's been a while. And then if you have reels that are doing well and if you have the trial option, I've been using the trial option to do my educational reels to bring in followers to my page. As for Rudist, I threw out a hair reel, not with this formula. It was just like me talking about it one. And everyone is doing different things. I've seen a lot of people actually implement the Rudist in their reels. But for now, I've just been talking about it in my stories, at least on the thing is my page, one of my pages is just so niche down that the people there for kids ADHD and sensory processing disorder are not in it for hair. So I keep that mostly for my stories. But if I were doing it on my Facebook, that's just like such a diverse niche for like everything. So you just kind of got to decide. I say if your intuition says share a reel and you're feeling good and happy about the hair care, then share it like you would anything else and don't be in your head about it. Lean into that intuition. Does everyone have a backup account they do collaborations with? I don't know what that means. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you guys have questions, Nicole, get this up. If you want to elaborate on the backup account thing, I don't have a backup account. I don't know if anyone has a backup account, or what collaborations would be. Other account as a collaborator and it helps you reach IG like collaborations. Oh. Huh. I mean, you could. You could collaborate for more reach, I suppose. Yeah. All you really can do is like tweak and see. I can't collaborate with my other account because it's on probation till November. So it doesn't get any new reach. But yeah, you can. Do you mean like collaborate with other people on the team? Or collaborate with your second account? You could totally collaborate with your second account if you want to. Yeah, you can collaborate with your second account and see what happens. Okay, I'm just checking. Dawn, that's what I've started doing this weekend and I've gotten more engagement. Dawn, is Dawn still on here? I saw one of her, I don't think she's here. I'll text her. I've been working with her on Friar's framework and she's doing well. Okay, any more questions? So I would take the time to, Friar's one of my coaches. He also does Instagram. He's the guy on the screen right now with the Reels Academy. I'd take the time to, oh man, was Aspen taking a picture? I was trying to stick my tongue out, but I think I'm too late. I would take the time to work on, like, set a time out to work on captions. Like, give yourself an hour. And you'll be surprised that you may or may not finish with each of those things, and then toggle and just work on that this week. And don't expect like instant results. Remember, you have to put things into action to see what works and what doesn't for your audience. Just like you kind of have to do with your reels. Like I was doing reels 6 weeks before I figured out what my audience liked, and one took off. And I was doing those consistently 2 times a day. And it was one of the most frustrating things of my freaking life until that 6th week.
I was about to say the hard work paid off.
Yeah, and I was not having it. Like Fryer still laughs at me that I wanted to do things my own way, and just like he kept telling me, you have to have proof and time. You can't have time, like can't prove what doesn't work if you're not putting your content out there consistently.
I actually remember you telling me that because you were saying you were gonna do it your own way, and Fryer was like, you didn't even give it 30 days. He's like, please give it 30 days.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't want to.
Okay, well,
All
I'll get
right.
this replay up.
Okay, cool.
Everybody have a great
All right.
night. Oh,
Okay. Good night.
working Zoom tomorrow. If anybody is free to come, I will be there.
Aspen, will you send me the picture?
I actually didn't take it of us. I took it of like, I don't think I got anyone in it, but I can send it to
Oh.
you.
Okay, cool.
Oh, here, let me take another one. My room's really dark, but I'll see you guys. I'll see Bethany. Okay, smile. Well,
Oh,
Bethany looks
there,
cute.
Ivy's on. Do
Okay.
you want us to get you in it, Ivy?
I'm like not in the right view though.
Sure, I can
Okay.
do it.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
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 Megan. No, Megan. No. Okay, now you guys smile.
My kids are really pissing me off right
Just smile. Much better.